Good morning, everyone. I know I ain't been doing the morning show for a little bit with doctors and stuff like that. I'm gonna do like an hour. I have to get ready to go look at a car. Gotta leave here like 11, so I had to get ready for that. Good morning, Steven. Hi, Marlove. How are you guys doing? Hey, Rustic. Good morning, Judy May. How's everybody doing? I'm kind of excited to go look at this car for my daughter. I kind of want to go now, but I told the guy I'd be there at noon. So, but it is a really nice car. Super clean. Like, this guy must have like garaged this car its whole entire life, because for a 2008, there's no rust on it. And the inside's like all leather, and none of the leather's torn or anything. Good morning, CK. But on a positive note, at least we're not getting the snow that Buffalo's going to get. Between tonight and Sunday, they're going to get anywhere from 2 to 4 feet plus. And they've already closed the throughway to tractor trailers. Now, the bad part of that is tractor trailers ignore the closure, and then they get stranded on the throughway, and then they cause accidents. Now, granted, there isn't a super lot of places to park for trucks in this state, especially on the throughway. The service areas can only hold so much, and then there aren't big truck stops either. You got one truck stop downtown Buffalo, which is not big at all. And then you have 2 truck stops at exit 48A, which the TA is pretty big. The Fly J, it's not huge parking. But then the hotel has truck parking, and then they just put another truck stop in. But we only got about, I don't know, maybe an inch or two, and then freezing rain on top of it the other day. So it isn't too bad. Now I got scared because I was checking Buffalo, and then I clicked our weather, and it didn't switch over. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get 5 to 8 tonight, and 5 to 8 tomorrow, and 1 to 3 on Saturday. So I was like calling my mom because I was like freaked out. I'm like, we're gonna have to get stuff moved to the other side of the garage so I can get the snowblower out. And then it switched over, and I'm like, well, never mind, it's not for us. So what's on everybody's agenda for today? Besides going to look at the car, and then I got to do a partial or full clean out for the chickens. Yeah, that's because you're in Missouri, right, Rustic? I think. Hang on a second, guys. Give me a couple of seconds. What's up, Ashley? Oh, that sounds good, Judy May. I only got a little bit of coffee. Mine's cold. Glad Vicky's fine, Ashley. Yeah, that's always fun when you gotta unload a truck. What's up, Mark? But chicken's been, well, I'm hoping it warms up a little bit, at least high 30s, so I can wet them out instead of trying to clean around them. Because with 2 turkeys and 12 chickens, it makes it a little bit harder to clean with all of them in there. Good morning, Johnny. Hi, Christine. You need my card, baby. I don't know. Hi, Cool Gamer. Hope everybody's morning started out good. Afternoon. I don't think it's evening. Well, might be evening somewhere. But I'm doing good, Christine. They're super antsy to go look at this car for my daughter because, then I can have my car back, hopefully. So it's not crazy about her driving around my 2021 car. All right, Ashley. Have fun. Don't work too hard. At least you don't have to unload a 53-foot trailer by hand. Because trust me, it's not a fun time. Especially if you have a mixed load and you have to sort everything by product and do a case count. Yeah, that's not a fun time. I have to say paper products and canned goods are the 2 worst things to have to unload by hand. Well, let me get everything figured out. Well, yeah, car. His cat's fixed before I choke your faces off. I wish I'd have got a short video of baby mouse, but every time I try to do it, he stops doing what he was doing. So he was hanging upside down from the bottom of his lid on his tank, and he was just like swinging back and forth, and then he like somersaults in the air, but every time I try to catch him, he stops. And I'm not going to stand there all day. Well, if I had one of those motion sensor ones, like a trail cam or something, that did like a video instead of just a snapshot, then I could probably get them. But it's just hard to catch them. Yeah, just grab like 3, 4 of both. So that way we have them. Yes. I don't know. They changed the color of the bill of sale, so I don't know if it's yellow, blue, white, green. Yeah, it's not the application. Hi, Nicole. What's up, Scott? Well, yeah, you probably need a nap considering you're on hog legs all morning and stuff. Hang on a second, guys. All right, sorry, guys. Good morning, Emily. That would just confirm my appointment with the oncologist on Monday, but I'm gonna have to reschedule it because Jamie's off not this week, but the following week, Thursday and Friday. So this coming Monday, which is my appointment, she's got to work, which is no big deal. Me having to reschedule the appointment for the simple fact my insurance still has not approved two of the blood tests that have to have prior authorization. I could go get the other ones done, but my luck, if I did that, they'd call me the next day and be like, hey, can you come in, blah, blah, blah. And with the price of gas, I really don't want to be running back and forth, doing blood work and stuff. Because right now, I drive my gas guzzling pickup truck that has a V8. But short distance, it's okay. Like Jamie going back and forth to work. Or if you're driving the highway, then it's good. But if you're just doing back and forth between like city, then I don't know. Sometimes it has a brain of its own because sometimes it feels like you can go 50 miles and only burn like an eighth of a tank. And then other times it's like quarter to almost half a tank. So, but it's a vehicle. Um, Granted, I should have probably found one that was, I don't know, maybe smaller in the V6, but all right. Thank you, CK. Hope you have a great day. But let's see, a couple people had asked me about mornings, and I haven't done them, like I said, because of um, doctor's appointments and stuff like that. But and I was almost debating whether to do one this morning, and I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do one, and then I can go do the other stuff I gotta do before we have to leave around 11. Because I hate trying to rush. Because myself, when you rush, you typically one either forget stuff, or sometimes if I have more than one thing to do, I end up doing them backwards. Don't ask me why, it just happens. My little puppy over here, sound asleep. And actually, while I'm thinking of the puppy, gotta see. I cannot remember the day he was born. All right, the 26th. So the 26th of this month, he will be 4 months old. Yeah, I know, Judy May. It's, you know, stuff happens like that sometimes. some things can't really prevent, especially when it comes to health stuff. Which yesterday I found out that my soon-to-be ex-husband's mother is on her deathbed. Now, the bad part about that, well, one of the bad parts, is she had died once. Now, granted, she has a DNR, do not resuscitate. So she had died basically, and they resuscitated her. Morning, Ashley. So I don't know if that's grounds to like go after the hospital for violating a DNR. I'm not sure how that law works. I know it's super hard when you lose anybody. But he has both parents, and he hasn't really lost that many family members that are close to him. Yeah, I'm like back and forth with that, Judy May. I love doing the lives. I'm not a huge fan of videos. For the simple fact that I could do a 2-minute video and it might get 10 views. Now, if I do a short, a lot of times I'll get like 80 views or 100 views or 1K views. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing? So that's where I'm back and forth. Yes, very true, Judy May. I've seen a lot of people's true colors over the past couple months, which the one is super heartbreaking, but as they say, the show must go on. But the biggest thing is do what you like, Judy May. And granted, yeah, I know we need views and I know we need hours and everything like that. Especially if you're monetized or want to get monetized. Myself, as of right now, if I was offered, I wouldn't do it. Unless they make a couple of changes, because from what I see of it, people do all this work for their YouTube channel and they basically make pennies. Between AdSense and views and stuff like that. To me, it seems like it's more headache than it is worth doing it. Because I don't know how they'd be with like my lives. I mean, morning lives are fine, but I'm not sure about night ones. Now, every once in a while, even though I'm not monetized, they'll give me a demonetization edit, and then they take it off, or they edit it and then take it off. So I don't know how that works, to be honest. But I'm not far away from my 4,000 hours. Yeah, but how much work did you have to do to get that 101, Judy May? That's what I'm curious about. Like, how much work do you have to? Um, the only ones I've gotten actually are chives. You had asked me about, you asked me if I wanted some other seed, and I said yes, but I don't remember what one it was. Yeah, I don't. I know I got the chive ones. Then I got a bunch from Garden State Gardener. And the one I can't wait to try are the blue tomatoes. So I told Mom she better make a lot of room on the back porch so we can start a lot of them. The only thing we don't start is like green beans, peas, herbs. Typically we start tomatoes, peppers, and like some of them will go and buy the plant. Well, yeah, that's what I said the other day when we were talking about it. I don't, the titles is what gets me. That's the problem. Hey, Miss Rebecca, because even for my lives, I never know what the heck to put on them. And then videos, it's like, how do you make a catchy title out of a 2-minute video that you may be walking in the woods or, you know, sitting in a hunting blind or, you know, it's hard to think about a catchy title. And then like with my lives, there's no set topic, whether it's a truck stop or the morning. I don't I don't go by a script. I don't have like stuff planned out. So to me, that's the hardest part is picking a title for everything. And then what I've been doing lately is going back through my shorts and my videos and adding more hashtags to them because some of the shorts I didn't know to like hashtag them. That happens actually. I've done that a couple of times myself, or like I got to go do something and I like close it out and then come back and I forget to slide it over. So then when I realize it, I'm like, well, crap, I'm like 10 minutes behind. Yeah, I mean, I know there is a thing. I forget. Good afternoon, Gaza. And I take it it's raining over there. Mm, it's not good, Judy May. Sometimes with the talk, the text, some of the stuff that it puts out is like, okay, what the heck are you even talking about? That's why I don't use it because I'll try to do the talk to text and it won't even say remotely of what I said. Ugh, rain for 2 days, that definitely does not sound like a fun time. Of course, it's better than being 100 and some degrees for y'all. Now, me, I would take 100 degrees all year long. See, I have hashtags in my shorts, But by me going back and hashtagging, like put hashtag shorts and hashtag short video or hashtag YouTube shorts, it's throwing my shorts back out into the world. So a lot more of my stuff, because I was just at like 30. Let me see if I can figure this out. The other day I was like 36,000 views. And I think now I'm at like 38. Yeah, because well, that's strange. It said the 17th, which is today, I reached 35,000 views. We'll see what the update is for it. But my views have jumped, and I think that's from going back in and throwing more hashtags and stuff, because it's increased my views like crazy. It's just strange. All right, guys, we'll be here for a little bit. I'm just gonna check because I know it's jumped like crazy. Yeah, because right now it says I'm at 38,872 views. And then the one thing I'm not sure about is I know they say about the watch hours. Now, I've had my channel since um, October 7th of 2015. But I didn't start posting anything until like February of this year. So I imagine when it hits that year mark, I'll probably lose all that. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you lose all those hours and have to start over, or how that even works. I don't know, guys. I know sometimes he's like, me going live in the morning's too early for him, so a lot of times he's still sleeping. Yeah, I go in streaks. I like forget that I actually have a community tab. So I don't always, like, if I see somebody's live or an upcoming live, I don't always remember that I have the community page to throw it out on. So yeah, that's bad on my part. Well, Emily, I happen to know that there are many people that appreciate you being the mod you are in their streams, and you mod in a lot of streams. So I'm sorry that you don't feel appreciated, but there are many, many, many people that do appreciate you. And I know it's hard if you feel unappreciated, but I appreciate what you do for the channels. Yeah, like when I do my night lives, Gaza, it's 2:30 in the morning in the UK. So, But I mean, mornings makes it a little bit easier because normally it's, afternoon or early evening in the UK. So that's the one thing I do like about doing the morning show, because I get to see everybody from the UK or the Philippines or sometimes Korea, just depends. Now, what I find cool is, like, the past 2 weeks, I watch a lot of mukbang channels, and a lot of them have like millions of subscribers. And two of the ones that I've watched have actually been like hearting my comments, and people actually respond. But of course, it's in Korean or Japanese language, and it doesn't give you the option to um, trans uh, put it to English. So I assume they're good comments, but I don't know. I haven't like tried being on here and like copying and pasting it. Yeah, actually, I don't know how that all works, as far as hi Marlove, how that works, to be honest. No, I have not heard of them, Gaza. Well, yeah, if you go to your dashboard and you look, it'll tell you your last live. So my average view time for the last live I did was 13 minutes and 14 seconds. So that's about how. Oh, all right. I will go look them up because, I like trucking stuff. Is he in Ireland? All right, I found him. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Video that I can launch. Well, he does a lot of long videos. So I'll add this to. All right, there. Then I can watch him later. Yes, what I find about so interesting. Now here, we used to run cab overs, which is the front cabbed trucks. Now, I don't know why we did away with those, because they have a way tighter turning radius, because you don't have to worry about hitting anything with the nose of the truck. What's up, Polar Bear? Okay, Ashley, I can be there in, I don't know, quite a few hours, half the day. Run, stop. But anyway, when I watch looking at the trucks from like the UK to Ireland to Australia. See, now Australia trucking is super cool because the trucks could have like 10 trailers behind them. I call it running trains because they have so many trailers behind them, it's actually like a train. And they'll be going through the countryside. But a lot of the other countries, the looks of the trucks are like so different than um what we're used to seeing here. So I find it like super fascinating um to see like all the different trucks and how um just the way they look. I mean, I love looking at tractor trailers anyways. But here, a lot of all the companies pretty much did away with cab overs. A bunch of them sold them to Mexico, like Snyder did. They used to run cab overs all the time. And then when the other trucks, were getting more popular, they sold them to Mexico. So when they come up through Laredo, Texas, and into the trucking companies to drop trailers and businesses, they'll have cab overs. Very rarely do you see an extended nose truck coming from Mexico. Canada's different. Their trucks are pretty much the same as ours. And once in a blue moon, you will see an owner operator with a cab over. And I used to own a cab over for personal business use, just for hauling our equipment and stuff. And it made me feel claustrophobic because you have absolutely no room in a cab over. The motor's like right there between the passenger seat. And if you want to get in the bunk, you basically have to climb over that, and they call it a doghouse to get in the bed. Yeah, I didn't like it either, Polar Bear. I just felt like super claustrophobic. The shifter's like this big, so it threw me off because I think I had been like a month out of CDL school, and I was driving it, so the tiny shifter was like throwing me off. So I ended up, and the shift pattern is so close compared to a conventional truck. So a couple of times I ended up missing gears, which isn't a good thing when you have a trailer and equipment behind you and going up a hill. Because that definitely makes it a pain in the butt because, you got to stop in the middle of the road and start all over. But yeah, see, like here, we have a lot of different box trucks too. Like some of the box trucks, are just plain box trucks. Then you have other ones that have like a full sleeper cab. And then, like a 20-foot box on the back or 26-foot box. And then, of course, you have your small ones. Myself, I wouldn't mind getting like a 20-foot refrigerated box truck and turning it into a camper because you could set the reefer to a comfortable temperature and then you wouldn't really have to worry about it. I mean, granted, yeah, it runs off diesel, but it would definitely make it nice. And even to have like The Jenna packs on the side of it would be cool too. But yeah, and then I forget the name of the show. But there's tractor trailers, and it showed them going down these, like on the side of a mountain, these windy dirt roads. And there's no guardrails. And I mean, you're on the side of a mountain, and like the the drop is just crazy. And in most sections of these roads, it's like barely getting 2 cars wide down these roads. And then they have like these domed cutouts that you have to drive through. And when I was watching them, I would get so nervous because the truck would be going one way, and then there'd be this huge bus coming the other way. And I'm like, how the heck are you guys going to fit side by side down this road without falling over the bank? See, something like that, I could not do. I would be way too scared. Not because of like my driving capabilities, just the fact that you're driving on these little skinny dirt roads on the side of a mountain with no guardrails. And I couldn't even imagine having to go through there when it rains, because it looks like all like red clay, and a lot of times that gets like ice basically, because it gets all slimy. Yeah, it depends on the load, Chad. It really does. Because when you go to a company and you pick up a refrigerated load, they tell you what that reefer has to be set on. And if you get to a company and that temperature is more than like 4 or 5 degrees off, they'll refuse the whole load. And then you're talking, buku bucks. Now, what was a pain when I was on the Walmart account with JB Hunt, in the wintertime, they liked putting out solid frozen loads. So when you're driving, you get all that slush kicked back up on the door of the trailer. So I had delivered to Sam's Club, and then I had to go to New Jersey to pick up another frozen load. But I delivered that, and guess what? The door was froze shut. I tapped it with my 5-pound sledgehammer, tried everything. Yeah, maybe that. I don't know, actually. I like the ice road truckers too. But I don't know if it might have been American truckers. Because it showed them going in all different countries, driving trucks on all different types of roads and little tiny areas and stuff. So, anyways, Sam's Club, I couldn't get the door open. And the guy was like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, well, you're going to pop the door. Because we use roll up doors. He's like, what do you mean pop the door? I said, you're going to stick your one side of your forklift there under the door by the handle. And I said, you're just going to pop it open. So the bad part about having to pop it open is the roll-up door gets broke. So I had to drive all the way from there to JB Hunt's terminal in New Jersey and sit there and wait for them to fix my door because some of the rollers went flying. Now, if they just popped out of the track, I could have fixed it myself. Yeah, all the baby food that I had was never in a refrigerated trailer. They were always in dry box. So in that situation, you can't prevent what type of temperature it is. And I remember this was the one time that DOT nailed me. I was coming back from Connecticut, and I had picked up a huge load of eggs. So I had gotten off because my reefer was flashing. So I had to shut it off, try to reset the code. So I got it back running. Well, I'm like driving and I'm watching the reefer light out of the corner of my eye to make sure that it stays green, because it was summertime. And so I wasn't paying attention to, I guess, the signs of being there that said weigh station open, which in New York State, they're portable scales. So I didn't see them until I was already like a little bit past the rest area, which is where they had the portable scales set up. So I quick pulled over to the side of the road, and here comes a state trooper. And he's like, "Did you not see the signs for the scale being open?" I'm like, "Honestly, officer, no, I didn't." I said, "My reefer kept coding." I said, "I have a load of eggs," and I said, "It can't get more than a couple temperatures off, or Walmart will not accept a load." So, needless to say, I got a ticket, which the company didn't let me live down. Well, and other drivers for probably a good 2 weeks. But you could pay for this certain thing where you had like cheap lawyers. So instead of having to pay the ticket for the scale part of it and driving past or avoiding a scale, they just got it was just a parking ticket. So I only had to pay like a $50 fine, which is a hell of a lot better than what they would have charged me for that. Yeah, the only time I ever had problem with like doors closing is when I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I picked up these big racks of auto parts, and they had them stacked all the way to the door. Well, they didn't take into consideration, that the door goes in, a certain way for the swing doors. So I had to go get the guy to come out with the forklift to push them in a little bit because I could not get the door shut at all. Yeah, um, the ship pallet just depends on how they're like loaded in. Because I used to, well, a couple of times in Long Island, I went to stores. Now, when we went down with JB Hunt, because I drove for them, we weren't allowed to do drop and hooks down there. Where I'd gone to uh, the one Walmart store, and the manager was super sick. I don't even know why he came to work. and wanted me to do a drop and hook and take a trailer full of pallets, which up here they go to SOA. And then, when they're doing revamping the pallets or whatever, then they'll haul them back to Walmart. Because some of them end up getting broke. So anyways, I had to fight with our dispatch. I'm like, if you don't get me off of this island, I said, I'm not going to make it out within my hours. I said, there's nowhere to park down here for trucks. You can't park at the stores. They all have noise ordinances. And if you get caught parking there, yeah, those are some big tickets, even if you don't have your truck running. So finally, after like an hour of fighting with dispatch, they agreed to let me drop and hook the trailer, which I just had dry goods, paper products, dog food, canned goods, laundry soap, that kind of stuff. It was just a mixed load of dry goods. Which is a pain in the butt for there, because even if you get back into New Jersey, there's like one truck stop you can park at, and that thing, if you're not in there by noon, it fills up. So you have to make it back to New York State Thruway, because there's nowhere anywhere to park down there. Very rarely would you go to a company down there where they actually had like some sort of parking for you. One place I picked up muffins, and they kept them frozen. So they had given me a big case of these blueberry and banana nut muffins and one other type of muffin. But there's a dirt road by them. And they're like, yeah, just pull over on the side, you can park there. So that was nice, because there's no way that I was getting back off the island. Especially, it was rush hour. Yeah, JB Hunt, when I was running cross country for them, yeah, we did a lot of pallet loads. And there's only the last company I was with, we would haul all different kinds of stuff. Well, I had a big load of wine going to Baltimore to their liquor authority place, or whatever it's called. Well, I had scaled the load, and I was at 83,000 pounds, and you're only allowed to be 80,000 pounds. So I chose to run it. Now, typically, DOT will not bother you if you're like 100 pounds or so over gross. 3,000 pounds, on the other hand, I'd have gotten, probably would have lost my CDL. That would have been such a big ticket. And the scale in PA on I-83, they had it under construction for like the longest time. Well, I chose to run this load, get down on I-83, and guess what? The scale's open. And I'm like, I really hope they don't pull me on that scale. So luckily, they had 3 container drivers pulled over. So everybody else was just able to drive through. And I thank the good Lord above for that day. And I just kept thinking the whole time, I'm like, I really hope there's no other scales open. So after that, I never drove another or hauled another load that was that far over gross. If it was, I'd bring it back to the shipper and have them pull stuff off. Good morning, Crazy Hillbilly. How are you doing? I can't do a full 2-hour morning show, so here in a little bit we'll be shutting down because I'm almost at an hour. Which hopefully, I'm hoping Tuesday be able to do a morning show, full morning show on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see. Sliding tandems in a certain instance, like the last company that I was with, not all their trailers could you slide the tandems to the rear because a mechanic thought it was a bright idea to weld them at the 48-foot mark. So when I'd go to like Niagara bottling or pulling springs or Kimberly Clark, I'd have to explain to them my tandems don't move. So a lot of instances they didn't want to load me because I could not slide my tandems all the way back. And I'm like, well, I said, I'll bring you my keys. And I said, I'll double check the wheels because I always kept wheel checks in my truck because for that reason, if I couldn't slide the tandems or if the tandems wouldn't move. Yeah, see, I never had a problem with a rejected trailer. And I've picked up at numerous places where I could not get the tandems to slide or they wouldn't slide. And I've picked up so many different places, beer loads, cigarette loads. I think the most expensive load I ever hauled was out of Beverly Hills. Now, the Ritzy Drive, Rodeo Drive, I think that's what it is. I'm on the backside of that, where the warehousing and stuff is. So you're like backing into like a dock from these stores. So I was hauling super expensive luggage and bags, like female bag, like pocketbooks or handbags, whatever you want to call them. And that was a couple $1 million load. That's like the most expensive load. And then the next one under that was from Philip Morrison. It was nothing to haul a $200,000, $300,000 load of cigarettes. Yeah, I drove for Werner. And our dispatchers, I'm telling you, were so dense. Morning, Chef. I had picked up from Kimberly Clark in Arkansas. I don't remember what town it was in. So the closest scale was to go north to the middle of nowhere because I had to go north and then east. And that cut off a lot of miles. So the truck stop was like an hour and a half drive from Kimberly Clark. So I get up there and I scale the load, and I think I was like at 81,000 pounds. So I call my dispatcher I'm like, look, I'm going to have to go back to Kimberly Clark. I said, because I'm at 81,000 pounds and only allowed to be 80. So my dispatcher asked me, well, can't you slide your tandems, or your fifth wheel or whatever? I'm like, look, I can't make 1,000 pounds disappear. I said, I have to go back to Kimberly Clark and have them pull weight off. I said, they have to pull 1,000 pounds off. So yeah, he had no idea what I was even talking about. So finally it's like, all right, go back to Kimberly Clark. So I called Kimberly Clark. I had my scale ticket. I said, I'm gonna have to come back down. I said, you're gonna have to pull 1,000 pounds off the trailer. So needless to say, I ended up running out of time on my clock, but luckily they had a dirt parking lot where you could park in, because they weren't in like a city. They were in the country. So thank God for that. Yeah, I've hauled out of a lot of breweries. I used to pick up at Budweiser a lot. But I definitely do miss driving truck. But yeah, I used to do a lot of back hauls. And for the most part, those companies were um, super easy to deal with. But then other companies, it's like you go and check in, and it's like everybody always had a nasty day, because you'd go in, give them your paperwork or your pickup number to pick up the load or whatever, and they would just be down and out rude and nasty to you. And I'm like, I'm sorry if you're having a bad day, not trying to make it worse. Sometimes, they'd be apologetic and stuff like that, and other times they just looked at you like you had 20 heads. And that's the hard part with being a truck driver, is because if you go to people to pick up a load or deliver a load and they want to be nasty, you just have to bite your tongue, because if you say the wrong thing, they'll throw you out. And then you're kind of SOL. And then you get a write up from the company if that happens. I think one time I fought. Good evening, Annette. Um, but I was in New Jersey, picking up this load. Now, Walmart policy for like liability insurance, we were not allowed to stand on the dock to get loaded. Well, this particular company was telling me that I had to stand on the dock and validate every pallet that they stuck in the trailer. And I said, well, I'm not covered to stand on your dock and verify anything. I said, if your forklift driver decides to take my leg off, I said, Walmart's not going to cover me. So I fought with this, and they sent the head person down. And they're like, well, you're going to have to do this and do. I'm like, I don't have to do nothing. So they called my dispatcher, and then I had to talk to them. And my dispatcher says, either you do it or you ain't leaving. And so unfortunately, I had to bite my tongue and stand there on the dock and mark off every pallet that he put on there. Yeah, some drivers are super jerks, Chad. Super, super. But, all right, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to shut the show down. I will be live tonight. I hope everybody has a great day, good evening, great night. Much love. God bless. And thank you very much for coming in and spending time with me this morning. I have enjoyed myself, and I hope all of you guys have too. And we will catch you later. Have a great one.